Hello everybody, welcome to another After Effects CS6 tutorial. Today I want to show you how to take your vector images and make them into a 3D image using only After Effects. Now we're in After Effects CS6 and this is the only version that you can really do this nicely in. So we're gonna take this vector that I have, which is pretty much just a gear, and I'm going to put it in my comp here, and I'm just going to move my pan behind tool on the center of this gear so we can scale it up. I'm just going to make it somewhat bigger and move it to the middle, and I'm going to hit my collapse transformation tool so it looks a little nice, and I'll come up to 100% so everything looks pretty crisp. Move this in kind of more in the center. Now the way to do this is different than making your text 3D. So you have to pay a little bit attention, and don't get it confused with how you make your 3D text. So I have my 3D scene already set up with a camera and some lights. Now I'll come to the top view so you can see how I have that set up real quick, but it's nothing special. You can just have a regular camera and light. So there's a light in the back, a light in the front, and my camera is out there. No biggie. So just put a camera and a light in there, and then you can start doing this. So I'm gonna take this gear and I'm gonna make it 3D. And I did that by clicking on the cube. And let's see, I have my preview in adaptive resolution right now, so it's at full quality. I need to twirl down, and usually when you have your text in 3D, so this is a text layer down here, you're going to have the bevel depth, hole depth, and extrusion depth, which we used in a previous tutorial to make that text 3D. When I scroll down in my geometry options for my gear here, you don't have that. You have curvature and segments, which is different. So the way you want to make this 3D is you need to right click on the layer and come over here to create shapes from vector layer. And it's gonna take some time to load real quick, but as you can see, it created mask shapes all around and made basically the same vector but using shapes in CS6. So now if we twirl down this shapes layer, as you can see, the Illustrator layer has been turned off, and it did that on its own, and this is already 3D. Twirl down your geometry options, and now you've got your bevel styles. So let's set it to angular. I've already made this 3D, and I found out that 1 is good for the bevel depth, and if I do, I think 20 on this, it turns out into a 3D. Wait for it to render out, and there we go. We've got a 3D object. Now you can use this for if your client gives you a logo or anything like that. You can use that to make a 3D logo for your client without having to use a 3D program. So that's that's basically it. If you need more instruction about how to use the bevel depth, check out my other tutorial. So I'll go over the different geometry options here with you in case you didn't see the tutorial on how to make 3D text. So the bevel styles here are none, which is going to be flat, which most objects in real life aren't flat. I'm going to click on this here to turn off my masks. So as you can see, it turns off the masks. I'm going to actually change this to fast draft so we don't have to wait for renders every time. And we've got angular, which is kind of like a straighter bevel. You can see they're beveled in. Now we have concave, which gives you another bevel that is like a curved as you can see here on this edge right here, and then you've got convex, which is a curved out bevel, which looks more realistic on this object. Your bevel depth here is how much bevel is going to be in there. So if I set this something like 5, you can see it's too much because the holes in this are too close together or too small. You can see the bevel depth though on the edge of how it's a lot more rounder than before. So if I maybe set this to 2, you can even see how even 2 is too much for this one. So I set it to 1. And we can actually see what's going on in this looking at it this way. The whole bevel depth here now will make it so that the holes in the middle aren't so beveled out. Then maybe you can add more to this. Let's move the whole bevel depth down some even more, but it's got this thing in the middle, so I mean it didn't work so hot. So you can see what the whole bevel depth does if I scroll around there. I'll set this back to 1 where it worked well, and then your extrusion depth, if I turn this a little more sideways, just determines how far out this extrudes. So if I put this at 10, it's going to cut the depth in half. If I turn it to 30, it's going to make it even farther out. So that's how you make your object 3D. That was a basic rudimentary quick tutorial on how to do that. If you're more interested in some of the different aspects of the 3D, check out the making 3D text tutorial that I had. It's probably a couple tutorials back in the New Boston's channel. So thanks for watching this one, and I hope you guys use this all the time because this is going to be the new fad in CS6. I mean, actually it already is. It's so much easier than having to create a 3D logo in something like Maya or Cinema 4D or 3ds Max or something like that, and importing it in here, it just saves you a whole lot of time. So you guys use this up. It's going to be awesome. Put it in some of your cool projects, and I thank you for watching, and I'll check you guys later.